Joseph's off making his way, Tyler is off to the bathroom, and Pete gives the class the October download.
Oh, it's time for class.
Class is in session!
Roll call! Bueller.
I'm gonna be late for class.
Bueller.
Am I hallucinating here? Just what in the hell do you think you're doing?
I'm late for class.
You are mine now. You belong to me.
Did you study for the test?
No more complaining. No more Mr. Kimberly to go to the bathroom. Nothing. There is no bathroom.
Hello, classmates, and welcome to another episode of Middle Class Film Class. I'm your host for today, Pete. And just Pete, just myself today. I am doing a rare solo show because my dear pals, Joseph and Tyler, are off doing other things. Joseph is making his own short right now, which is something he wrote himself, thought up himself, is directing and shooting himself with some friends. And I'm not involved in this one. He had a full set and did not need the extra hands on set. I think I would just probably get in the way. I'm a kind of a help, a PA sort of with a slight bit of technical acuity on set. So I'm not a crucial part of the crew. I'm just one of the friends that watch. And Tyler is struck in with, he said last night, this morning, he messaged our group chat and I asked him, "Oh, hi, Heather. Hi, Heather's in the chat. Angry Otter's in the chat. What's up, fellas? How are you?" So, okay. So Tyler messaged the chat this morning and said, "Oh, my food poisoned me last night," which I guess means he's got the runs. So he's back and forth between the toilet. Hey, what's up, Dallas? What's up, man? How are you? Cool. We got some people in the chat. That's exciting. Thanks for coming. This is an unusual time for us to stream live. Yesterday I had a charity event to go to, so I couldn't do it Saturday. If I did it yesterday, Tyler may have been spared his food poisoning and may actually be here, but alas, it's not the case. So anyways, I'm going to just switch to, here we go. I don't need to see Ben Roethlisberger and Larry David on screen anymore. So anyways, Joseph's doing something fun. And he's making his own short. It's a comedy short. Normally the stuff that we've shot in the past have been kind of like horror or horror adjacent, and this is a comedy sketch, which I won't say anything about. I'll leave that up to him. But it's pretty funny. I read it in its early stages. It's pretty funny. And Tyler is losing 10 pounds of body weight as we speak. So anyways, what is this show going to be with just me here? I don't know. Here, take a look at the studio. I have where Tyler usually sits right here. And where I usually sit right here, and I'm sitting in this captain's chair at Joseph's helm right now. And it's lonely in here. Brianna's downstairs. She said, maybe I'll come up and I'll talk with the classmates for a little bit. So you don't have to do it solo, but she's not feeling well either. So I'm like dodging illness left and right in my life, apparently. So what I figured what we do instead is I'm going to give you guys my streaming picks from the last month. I'm going to do some highlights and some lowlights. I didn't watch as many movies as I thought I would for basically a month off from the show. But I did just do a fair amount of research for Pre-Code November because it's a topic I don't know much about. And I had a misconception. I messaged some people on Twitter who I know are in the know, and classic films of that era are kind of their thing. And Pre-Code is a thing that just doesn't really get brought up very often. So message them, talk to them. I got some guests coming for this month that I've booked. And on the second half of this episode, when we do the review for Scarface, because we still are going to do the Scarface review. I am going to do the Scarface review, not we. And but I do have a guest on for that. So I'll talk about that later. So I'm going to do my streaming picks for October, give you the highlights and the lowlights. And then I'm also going to talk about kind of what we did during October. I guess I'll start with that. So first off, the short film, the short horror drama, family drama called Motherwound, which Joseph and I talked about a bunch, and there was a crowdfunding thing, and I know a lot of the classmates donated to that, so thank you very much. It was possible to make a short that was a lot better looking than it had any right to be for such a low budget. And part of that was Joseph behind the camera doing the lighting setups with the camera or the lighting crew, and then just knowing how to work the camera and knowing what to do. He's very, very talented. And so that contributed to the overall look of it. But Motherwound has been locked. It's in the can, as they say. And we had our, I was a script supervisor officially listed on the credits. And so I had a very small part in it, but I'll say we, because it is a group effort. But our friend Hannah, she wrote it, she starred in it, and she co-directed it with our other friend Camille. And the film is basically about the Motherwound, all one word, is basically like a stain on your spirit that you may have received from the past from your mother, and what that necessarily means. And a lot of it can be construed as, is this poison something I'm going to take with me into the future, or yada, 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 or is it something that I just have to deal with, today and moving forward? And it's a really good short. It's very good, very engaging. It looks fantastic. It's got an original song scored to it, which makes it feel just very real, very professional. And it had we had our worldwide debut at the Santa Cruz Film Festival, which was the first week of October. So the first weekend of October, I want to say it was the first weekend. We all went out to Santa Cruz. We stayed a couple nights at an Airbnb and debuted the short. And it was a great reception. And the way that film festival works, and I think probably a lot of them, is you buy tickets for like a block. So we got tickets for our block, but we watched a couple other blocks of films that was like anywhere between 4 and 10 shorts, depending on the length. And there were some really, really good entries into the festival. And seeing our film up there with all these other ones, there was one that had a voiceover from Ron Perlman throughout the entire thing, which was really cool, great. Clearly had a budget. It was all about the, I don't know what the name of it was, but some sort of serial killer that kills women hitchhikers, and it was kind of following a woman who's hitchhiking through the desert and all that whole sort of thing. And then it's revealed, she escapes, and she gets picked up by a second hitchhiker, and it's Theodore Bundy, and it was interesting. It was really good. And then there was one that was about a killer bidet that I thought was really good. I think it was just called Bidet. And that one was like almost like Thanksgiving or Zombievers level of schlock and horror, and had some influence from like Aliens, the Alien franchise, which I'll talk about a little bit later. And it was very, very fun and very cool, and it was really well done. And then there was another local film called Freaky Tales. No, not Freaky Tales. It reminded me of Freaky Tales. It's called Vibeland. And that's based out of San Francisco, and the filmmakers out there, it's an anthology series, and they're going to be doing more. And this one was based around like a modern version of the Zodiac Killer, which was obviously a Northern California sort of thing. It was set around here, and I want to say 70s or something, but it's set in modern day, and it was production quality was great, all that kind of stuff. So seeing every time the credits would roll on another short in this festival, it was interesting to see, 50 or 60 people involved in this production, actual hands-on production, from multiple producers or studio production, title cards or whatever, to, multiple people doing sound mixing and multiple people doing editing and color grading and da-da-da-da-da. And there's from start to finish, the entire project production crew for Motherwound was, I want to say, about 10 people. And that, I'd say probably maybe 12. So it was like Joseph, Camille, Hannah, Kat, Jenna, Edward, I think, was on there. A couple other hands-on people, and myself. All I did was script supervising, very, very small part of it. And all the practical effects were done by Camille. There was like a belly being ripped open in one scene. She made a gelatin mold of Hannah's belly, and we had like a blood pump going through it. It looked very good and very real. The creature, the creature actor as well. I can't remember her name now off the top of my head, but she was great. She does a like haunted houses and sort of that sort of stuff, and a lot of indie horror, acting as a sort of a contortionist sort of thing. And she's very tall, very lanky, and had this like great creepy crawl she did in it, and had the full makeup with long finger extensions and like whited out eyes, and it looked really, really good. And then there was the actress who was the mother, and the actress who played the I guess Hana's therapist in the movie. And so very, very small production. So our credits roll by is very fast. And then you see the credits roll by these other ones, and it's, 6 to 10 times the production cast. And it looks very in line with that. So testament to Joseph and the production crew. It was very, very good. I don't know when it's going to be available online, but as soon as it is, we'll let you guys know. So you guys can watch it. It was a great time. So we went to Santa Cruz, and we went to some after parties and mingled with some quote unquote industry douchebags, and that was a lot of fun. And got to meet the president of the Santa Cruz Film Festival himself. That was nice. It was really cool. And basically just chilled for a couple days. It was really nice. And we went around, had breakfast, and walked around Santa Cruz, and didn't actually go to the beach. First time I've been to Santa Cruz and didn't go to the beach. Yeah, Dallas, it was a really great experience. Thank you, man. And but it was really cool to see just the amount of effort that goes into something small like a 15 minute short, and what it takes to do to get there, and then the ultimate culmination of that. And I guess the goal hopefully is that somebody sees it and goes, wow, it's a really small team. Production was, I don't know, $15,000 or something like that, and it looked really good. What could they do with $500,000 or $1 million or something like that? So you think about movies like Lights Out, started as a 2-minute short, very, very short, ultra high concept of a person closing down shop at the end of the night, or a house or something like that. And oh, hello, darling. The love of my life is in the chat. The handsomest member of MCFC. Very biased of you. Thank you so much, darling. So anyways, yeah, you see something like Lights Out, 2-minute short. Someone either leaving their house or leaving a work or something like that. They flip the lights off and they see the silhouette of the creepy creature in the doorway. Flip the lights on, it's not there. Flip the lights off, it's there again. Flip the lights on, it's gone. And then it jump scares her. That's that. And it's a great, really, really like an ultra short mini film. Not even a film, just like a scene from a movie. And they took that and they gave them a bunch of money because they said, we love this idea. Let's go. Let's make this full-length movie. And they made Lights Out, the feature. And I think it's very fun. It's very good. And I look at some of these movies that are like, it's not Kino, not going to win any awards, at least no Oscars or anything like that. I don't think, but it had some named people in it, and it was a very competently made horror movie, and it was a great popcorn movie. And I really can't say a whole lot of like bad things about it. And I think a lot of people would take a movie like that and just shit all over it and say, that was trash. It's whatever, it's garbage. I find the more I spend time watching movies and I'm around people who make movies, even short films or whatever it is that you want to call it, I find it's a little harder to criticize small productions, or even really any production. As long as they're putting heart into the movie, I really don't care. If it doesn't look perfectly as good as anything else, or the script is not unique thing that blows my hair back or whatever, it's like, I don't care. It's still something that people made. They sat there and put their energy and their blood, sweat, and tears into it. And ideally, you take something like Motherwound. This is a short film, passion project from Hana, conceived by her, based off of events of her own life, or at least ideas from her own life, and put into the world. We made this short. She made this short. And hopefully someone can tap her on the shoulder and say, you're a great actress, you're a great writer, or a producer, director, whatever it is. Do you want some money to make this film an actual feature? And hopefully that would happen. So anyways, that was Santa Cruz. Santa Cruz was a lot of fun. Went out of town. I commuted, I carpooled down there with Joseph and Deanna. I drove out there in my work car since I get gas for free. And then the next weekend, we had our Sacramento premiere, which was really nice. And that was at the Sacramento Railroad Museum, right down Old Town Sac, kind of by that funky, weird overpass and parking structure and stuff. And that was a lot of fun as well. We got to rent it out. I didn't even realize that a theater attached to the Railroad Museum. So if you go and you go to the left, there's all the hands-on stuff. You can see all the trains and stuff. That was all closed down. This was an after-hours thing. I think Friday night. I want to say it was Friday night. Yeah, it was Friday night, I think. Like 5 or 6 o'clock or something like that. So end of the workday, went out there. And the theater was a pretty significant theater. I'm sure they show like train movies or whatever there. That one video for first movie of the train coming at the screen, everybody freaks out. Probably just that on repeat. But we rented out that theater, and it was really great. They sold pretty much all the merch they had left over from the Motherwound, shirts and stickers and decals and posters and things like that. Great poster, by the way, too. It looks really good. And got to see it with friends and family. So that was really cool. We had a couple friends, Steven and Anna, that came out. Tyler came out. And Tyler wasn't part of this production. And so he's been kind of like, the three of us, me and Joseph and Tyler, were kind of like, we're very much connected to each other in our real lives outside of the podcast. So it feels kind of weird, me and Joseph working on this long-term project. And we spent multiple weekends doing it together. And then we spent multiple weekends out promoting the show or promoting the movie or screening the movie or whatever. And this a different group of friends. And so we asked Tyler to come out, and he came out and we watched the movie together. Brianna was there. Joseph's parents were there. A lot of the parents were there. And it was really good. It went over gangbusters. So anyways, that's enough of what Motherwound. It was very, very fun. I feel much more connected to that group of friends at this point. And it was just great to be a part of something like that. So that was that. And then let's see, what other interesting things happened in October? Well, I rewatched the Alien franchise, start to finish. So one of the things I love about doing the podcast is I get connected with other indie film podcasters or indie other podcasters, and we get to guest on each other's shows and come on or do small segments or do full episodes or whatever. And I met a bunch of great guys and gals through the podcast world, and this small group of us have not started, but we've been for quite some time now, a few years now, doing these mega episodes or mega pods, and we'll watch every movie of the franchise, of whatever franchise it is. Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, Halloween, Child's Play, I think that's number 4. And then now we're doing the Alien franchise. And we watch all of them. And in this franchise we watched AVP and AVP Requiem as well, unfortunately. and then rank them. And we come on the show, we do a group recording, one person spearheads it, and we basically all go through the movies one by one, talk about what we liked, what we didn't like, and how they relate to the rest of the franchise, and if it's overrated, underrated, et cetera, and then give our rankings. And it's a lot of fun. So it's this one was ran by Kevin from the podcast That Wouldn't Die. Him and Aaron are the hosts of that show. And we had Stu from Stu World Order, Carlo from the Movie Loot, Ed from the Film Effect, and I know I'm missing somebody. Maybe it was just the 4 of them and me. Yeah, it was just the 5 of us. Yeah. So that was a lot of fun, the 5 of us, and it was 3 hours or something like that for one episode. But we're talking about, let me look at my rankings here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 movies total. So we have the original trilogy, Alien, Aliens, and Alien 3. Then you got like the prequel or the sequel trilogy, which I know Resurrection's in there. Forget about that for a second. You have the sequel trilogy, which is like Prometheus and Romulus, or Prometheus and Covenant, and then Romulus after that. But then there's Alien Resurrection, which is a completely different thing. It's in canon for most of the movies, but it just feels like its own different movie. It's different from all of them. It's directed by Jean-Pierre Reno. I think that's what it was. Juno. Yeah, Juno. Jean-Pierre Reno. I can't remember his name. The guy that directed Amelie and Delicatessen and City of Lost Children. And A Very Long Engagement, which you watched on the show because of Binge Lord Dan, which was a great recommendation. So then you have, so I would put that in like this separate trilogy, non-canon trilogy, along with Alien versus Predator and AVP Requiem. So I'm going to give my rankings that I did on the show. Might spoil it for anybody that's watching the show, but for most people that know me, they realize they probably have a pretty good idea about it. So the first 2 entries of the franchise, of the Alien franchise, are 5-star movies, in my opinion. Aliens, the second part, I think is the top spot. And for me, it's more of a personal, I know it's more of a personal taste. All the rankings are personal taste anyways, but I feel like there's so much more to the movie. And yes, it's cheesy action pulp to a degree, but there's so much more to it. Alien is a great slow burn horror movie, and Aliens is a great over-the-top action movie creature feature. And every question that you have in Aliens, or in the original Alien, gets answered or ramped up in the second one. So when you get done watching Alien as a youngster or as an adult, depending on your age, you're probably thinking, damn, that one alien fucked them up. They killed that whole ship with the one alien. I wonder what happens if there's more of them. And sure enough, aliens, you get more of them. They tack the S on the end, add more aliens, you're done. But then I like the idea of thinking, well, how do they reproduce? You have, where do the eggs come from? Because the eggs are there on the planet, on the original Alien. John Hurt gets face hugged by the one that comes out of the egg, and then it turns into the chest burster. Chest burster comes out. You're led to believe that that little tiny snake worm looking chest burster thing with metal baby teeth turns into the xenomorph that we all know and love. And then that's it. So where does the eggs come from? Are these skinny, gangly ass, skeleton-like, biomechanical feeling xenomorphs? Are we led to believe that somehow those lay those big ass eggs? I don't think so. Aliens answers that with the Queen, which for my money is the greatest of all practical effects for a creature in any movie. Jurassic Park may be withstanding. The T-Rex in Jurassic Park is pretty phenomenal, but just the ingenuity of the big termite queen-esque egg sack butt thing, and the slime and the laying them out, being held up by I don't know, marionette strings that are made of living tissue or whatever, and the giant crown and the second layer of the head that comes out from under. It's so good. The Queen is so good. So, and then it also ramps up Ripley. Ripley was great. She's even better in this. She's still sensitive. She still weeps for the child that she lost, that she never got to see grow up, and then is supplanted by Newt. So none of these things I need to tell you about. You all know about Alien and Aliens, but for me, the sequel is slightly above Alien. Both 5-star movies, both perfect movies. Aliens, slightly better. Where my list goes off the rails is for my part 3, which is Alien Resurrection. I think this movie is way underrated, and it takes a movie series that I think people abandoned after part 3. Alien 3 came in, and David Fincher's version disappointed a lot of people. I don't think it's a bad movie. I still think that's a 4-star movie, especially if you watch the assembly cut. It's a 4-star movie. Not my top 5 though. Still not my top 5. I think that Alien Resurrection takes a franchise that kind of lost its way and just took a big gamble and just threw a unique style at it that doesn't seem like it belongs in that universe. But for me, it really worked. It's like psychosexual Brad Dourif. You get psychosexual Brad Dourif. Dan Hedaya pulling a chunk of his own brain out of the back of his head. What else? You got Ron Perlman, Michael Wincott, Winona Ryder as a cyborg. You get multiple Ellen Ripleys, and you get an unnecessary basketball scene, which is always a welcome for me. And then you get aliens using their physical characteristics to outsmart the humans. Like they cannibalize one of their own so that the acid blood can get them out of the hole that they're in. That's great. It's awesome. I love it. Heather says, I'm not a quitter. I've seen them all a lot, and they're all entertaining. Just not all classics. Or maybe not all absolute classics of a different kind. Or maybe they're all absolute classics of a different time. A movie is only bad to me if it's not entertaining. Hell yes. Amen, sister. That's what's up. But I love Alien Resurrection. I think the humanistic side and the emotions are surprisingly relevant in Alien Resurrection. Because when Ripley sees her mutated mutant self on the table, hideously disfigured, chest already surgically opened, writhing on the table, left for dead but not dead, begging for the mercy kill. It's legitimately disturbing and legitimately sad and heartbreaking. Only for real Ripley, well, this version's real Ripley, to hit her with a flamethrower instead of a bullet to the head. The worst way to do a mercy kill. That's like a mercy drowning. It's like mercy stabbed in the gut and then drowned. But she mercy flamethrowers her, which is wild. And then you get the alien human hybrid creature at the end, which is people talk shit about that. I fucking love it. It's so gross with the weird cartilage nose wiggling on the front. It's like gross for the sake of being gross. And it's perfect because every new alien movie should have something insane offered new. And that continues with my number 4, Alien Romulus. Hot take, it's very good. Fantastic popcorn movie. 2 solid leads, which you really want to follow to the ends of the earth, and another mutated human alien hybrid, which turns out just to be a 7'7" Romanian kid. So unfortunately, he just looks like that. They put a tail on him, and that's what it is, but he's terrifying. So loved Romulus a lot. Then Prometheus, then Alien 3, then Covenant, and no surprise, AVP, then AVP Requiem. Alien 3 and Romulus and Prometheus, all 4-star movies. Covenant, 3.5-star movie. Alien vs. Predator, 3-star fun, 3-star banger. Alien vs. Predator Requiem, trash, 1.5 stars. They had a rule, only 1 light allowed on set. Every shot, only 1 light allowed. So you get what you get, darkness and all. So anyways, that's my rankings of the Alien franchise. When that super episode comes out, I'll post it on the Facebook page and on Twitter for everybody. But I believe it's going to be housed under the podcast That Wouldn't Die's feed because Kevin hosted it and he kind of ran this one. So don't know when the next one's going to be, but I love doing the megapods with those fellas. It's a lot of fun. So that's that. I guess that kind of gets us up to snuff on the State of the Union. Let's do some streaming picks.
Movies.
Wanna watch a movie?
Yes, I do.
Disney Plus, HBO Max.
If I don't get the pick, show's over.
I have grown accustomed to Hulu Plus.
Amazon Prime.
I like Netflix.
You found it?
Streaming picks. Movies that I watched on my streaming services this week that you can watch on yours too. So let's see. October. I watched One Battle After Another in theaters pretty early on in the month when it first came out. It's a classic. It's great. It's everything that I was sold, and it's really, really, really good. The characters are great. I feel it's surprisingly relevant, or maybe not so surprisingly relevant. Heather has in the chat, AVP Requiem was great because the audience I saw it with, hilarious. At one point, someone hesitantly said, "Can anyone see what's going on?" And we're off to the races. Oh my gosh, that's great. I know that's the joke that you can't see what's happening in the movie, but as I rewatched it, rewatched it with Brianna, and I looked at her, I'm like, "Do you understand what's happening in this scene?" She's like, "I have no fucking clue. I can't see. I can't understand anything." And we had the lights down, all the settings corrected on the TV, and I can see a goddamn thing. So it's cliche for a reason, but that's a great story, Heather. So yeah, One Battle After Another, the Paul Thomas Anderson, of course, movie, film, Paul Thomas Anderson film, very good. Yeah, it's really, really great. I can't wait to rewatch it at home. I can't wait to dissect this thing a little bit more. But some all-time characters, Jungle Pussy, great name for a character. Leo's character is fabulously inept. There are certain things he's good at and other things that he's just completely outside of his league, outside of his depth. Benicio del Toro, cool as a cucumber, undercover badass in this movie. Tiana Taylor just acting her ass off, killing it in the role. Just really, really good. And then that, of course, that chase sequence that's at the end is as good as I was told it was. I think that I don't know. I think there's some all-time scenes in this, and Sean Penn could be his best role. Yeah, I don't know. I like him. Again, maybe a hot take. I love him in I Am Sam, but that's kind of what I think of when I think of Sean Penn. But this is really good. His character in this is really good. So if you haven't seen it yet, it's probably out of theaters at this point. I'm not sure, but as soon as it becomes available for streaming or a blind buy, I'd say just do it because it's really, really good. Okay, and then Dallas says blazing hot take. I'm assuming for I Am Sam. I have a soft spot for that movie. I love it. Okay, so then I watched a movie that none of you should watch. It's called I Don't Understand You. This came out this year. It's streaming on Hulu, and it's starring Nick Kroll and another guy who I didn't recognize. I recognized, but I couldn't tell his name. Andrew Rannells. Yeah, don't know. Terrible. And Amanda Seyfried's in it for a hot second. It's about a couple, two men that go to Italy for a anniversary trip or something, so they could have this like homemade food in this Italian villa or the little Italian household on the countryside from this little old, abuelita or whatever. And they go there and they accidentally kill people, and it just kind of snowballs, and they can't take credit for their actions. And the whole thing is based off the title is based off of they don't speak any English, and everyone there's Italian and speaking Italian. And there's a comedy of errors there, but it's just mean-spirited and not good. And I got some laughs out of it, but mostly I was just like, this is, of all like the terrible decisions that characters make in like a Farrelly Brothers movie, it's just like that times 10, except for it's like ends in people's deaths. And you like the people that die. So you're like, I don't like these guys. They're my default protagonists and they're just not good people. So yeah, that's on Hulu. I Don't Understand You. Stay away. It's actually listed as 2024, not 2025. My mistake. Okay, next one. Let's see here. What we got? Okay, so this is one that I was excited to see, and it is not streaming yet, but we rented it. It's like a $10 rental, and I say it's worth it. I'm sure it'll hit streaming soon. It's Darren Aronofsky's new movie, Caught Stealing, starring the most beloved Austin Butler and Matt Smith and Regina King and Zoe Kravitz. And Liev Schreiber's in it, Vincent D'Onofrio, and them two, Lipa and Shmuley. And they play a couple of Hasidic Jew hitmen. So throughout the movie, I was like, I can recognize Liev Schreiber. I did not recognize D'Onofrio. He's got the curls on the sideburns and the big beard, and he's wearing that black hat and everything. But they're hitmen, and it's great. It's very much feels like a Snatch sort of movie, like a Guy Ritchie movie told through the lens of Darren Aronofsky. And it's Griffin Dunn is in this as well. Bad Bunny makes an appearance. DeFaro Wunatai, I don't know if I'm saying that's his name right, but he's great. He plays a small part in it. And it's really wonderful. And it's not a clean story either. There's some brutality there, and there's some emotion, and there's some things that pop up in the story that you wouldn't expect. They don't tie up in a nice little bow, and I appreciated that. So a little bit messy, but a lot of fun in this movie. So that's Caught Stealing. It's a $10 rental on all the VOD services right now, but I'd probably give that one like a B+ or maybe A- or something like that. A lot of fun. Next up, a new release movie from this year, 2025, also a $10 rental. It's not streaming for free yet, but this one is just a classic, in my opinion. This should be considered a classic. It's called Twinless. This is starring Dylan O'Brien, who I love. He's in Love and Monsters, and there was something else he was in recently. I can't remember what it was. I know he's in Maze Runner. He was in Teen Wolf. Oh, the Saturday Night movie, that like biopic about the first night of Saturday Night Live or whatever. He was in Not Okay from 2022. But Love and Monsters is where I know him from. He's so good. He's so charming. And in this movie, he plays twins. So he plays two roles. And the one twin who we follow through most of the movie is kind of a dummy. He's a little bit of a dolt, a little bit of a dunce. Maybe like a little bit of a meathead kind of. And he's a straight man, and his brother plays a gay man who is very opposite of him, very talkative, very loquacious, very outgoing, and people like him. He's charming, and he's exuberant. He's just a very vivid sort of character, and he's dealing with his death because he just recently died. His twin died, So he goes to a support group for ex-twins. So people who were twins and one of their twins died. And now they're living basically without half themselves. That's what they see it. And it's a great concept because I never would have thought, you lose your brother, your sister, or your mother, or somebody close in your family, and it's already devastating. But if that person is, by extension, like yourself, a twin, it's a unique connection that I could never understand. And I just can't imagine what that would be like. It's literally like part of yourself dying. And so he goes to the support group, a twinless support group, and he meets a guy there whose brother also died. His twin brother also died. And that character is played by James Sweeney, who also wrote this movie and directed this movie, and he's co-starring in this movie. And James Sweeney is great because the dialogue in this is fucking sharp and hilarious and fun and energetic. And the characters are complex. They're not all cut and dry. It's not like you just know this guy is the good guy and this guy is the bad guy, or there's an antagonist and it's all just kind of like normal people, and they're running through their life. And sometimes you hate James Sweeney's character because he's very abrasive and pushes the boundaries of this kind of meathead lug sort of guy who's dealing with his brother dying, and gets him out of his shell, gets him out of his comfort zone and stuff. And then you hate him for some of the things that he does, and then you like him again, and then you feel sympathy for him, but does that excuse the way he acts and blah, 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 blah. So this is really, really good. It's called Twinless again. Also stars Lauren Graham and Aisling Francoisi. And those are two people who I've seen in other things that were very different characters and played the parts great in this as well. You don't need to know anything going into it. You'd probably be better off not knowing anything about it besides just what I've told you, because the story is just great. So if you are looking for something to do like a date night or commit to something a little bit more substantial and instead of just like picking something streaming or watching another series or whatever, try Twinless. It's $10 rental right now. It's on Amazon. It's on Fandango at home for $10. It's on Apple TV for $10. It's really, really good. So I don't think you will regret your decision for paying $10 for that. Okay. I watched a kind of a joke pick, which I was told was bad, and it was bad. It's from 2023, directed by Robert Rodriguez, starring Ben Affleck, Alice Braga, William Fichtner, J.D. Pardo. This is called Hypnotic from 2023. A detective becomes entangled in a mystery involving his missing daughter and a secret government program while investigating a string of reality-bending crimes. This is streaming on Peacock. It's a free watch. Do not rent this if you don't have Peacock, because it's not worth it. But it is a goofy, cheesy, kind of trash movie that is starring a very serious Ben Affleck, who does not know the kind of movie he's in because he's taking this movie super seriously on a movie that's basically a joke. So, Hypnotic 2023. It's almost like, what's that one that he was in with, what's her name? Anna de Armas, where he's like a snail farmer, and it's based off of a book that was super weird and ultra serious from that. But there has to be some tongue-in-cheek stuff with that movie. I can't remember the name of that one. But it was also really weird. And let me see. I'm going to see the release date. What is the name of that movie? Not The Accountant. It's like Black something. Case for Kindness. Deep Water. Is it Deep Water? Yeah, I think it's Deep Water. Yeah, that movie, 2022, Adrian Lin directed. That's a really weird movie, but it has some tongue-in-cheek elements, which redeemed it for me. It's still a 2-star movie. But Hypnotic was like a 1.5-star movie, maybe 2 stars at the most. So yeah, watch that. Don't watch it. Whatever. I watched The Materialists, the Pedro Pascal / who else in this movie? Dakota Johnson / Chris Evans / a couple other people. This is directed by Celine Song. I think it's written by her too. And this is her follow-up to Past Lives, I believe. Let me see here. Yep. Her follow-up directing movie to Past Lives. And it's all right. It's okay. It's like a rom-com with some edge. Dakota Johnson plays a young, ambitious New York City matchmaker, professional matchmaker. She works for an agency, and she finds herself torn between the perfect match and her perfect ex. Perfect match being Pedro Pascal. He's very rich. That's all she cares about, essentially. And then Chris Evans, who was her ex, and she does have an emotional connection to, but he does not fit any of the criteria that she makes for herself, that she asks of her clients. So some self-reflection, some are you materialistic or are you in it for love? That sort of thing. And can you do both? Should you do one or the other? Should you try for both? Should you try for neither? Yeah, it's interesting. And John Magaro's in it for a second too. He's the same guy that plays in past lives. He plays the kind of cuck husband. He doesn't actually get cuckolded, but he's basically at home as his wife is reconnecting with her former love and just like being supportive from home. That's John Magaro. He's also in this one for a hot minute too. But there's some interesting stuff in this. It's like a 3-star movie. Maybe if I watched it again and I knew what I was getting myself into, it might be 3.5. But yeah, it was kind of surprising. So let me see if that's streaming anywhere for free. Yes, it's on Max right now. So you can watch The Materialists on Max if it tickles your fancy. Finally caught up with Michael Clayton, 2007 classic banger, like courtroom, not a courtroom drama, but like a legal drama, starring George Clooney, Tom Wilkinson, Tilda Swinton, Michael O'Keefe, Sidney Pollack. There's a couple other people in there too, but this is directed by Tony Gilroy, who did The Bourne Legacy. He did Duplicity, and that's pretty much it, I think. I think he's more of a writer than he is a director. But yeah, Michael Clayton's it's pretty good. Synopsis on Letterboxd says, a law firm brings in its fixer to remedy the situation after a lawyer has a breakdown while representing a chemical company that he knows is guilty in a multi-billion-dollar class action lawsuit. So it's a chemical company like a la Monsanto or something like that. And Tom Wilkinson is a scientist or a lawyer. I don't know exactly what role it's because he's lost his mind in this. He's crazy. He's gone off the deep end. And he's essentially threatening to take all this insider knowledge about how they know that their chemicals cause cancer or cause birth defects or whatever. And they hid it up. They covered it up. Maybe he was part of the cover up. I'm not sure. But he's threatening to take all that information public. And George Clooney is like a fixer. So I don't know if he's going to kill him. I don't think so because he's our protagonist. But he's essentially going to try to wrangle him in and get him back on this side of the fence. And Tilda Swinton is like I don't know if she's the CEO or the public representative or something for the company. And she's kind of pulling the strings from the background, but not doing a very good job of it. So it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Yeah, it's got a very cool vibe. And this is from 2007. It is streaming. Let's see right now. I know it was streaming before. It's only a $4 rental right now, but I know it was streaming before, so that's a bummer. I watched that early in the month, so sorry about that. If you want to watch Michael Clayton, you got to pay $4 or dig out your old DVD collection. Anti-streaming pick, The Primitive War, or just Primitive War. Yeah, not good. Don't watch it. It's like the Vietnam War mixed with Jurassic Park. It's a classic tropey Vietnam War with Fortunate Child or whatever that Fortunate Son, whatever the name of that song is, playing, helicopter swinging and all that kind of stuff. And then they go into the jungle and there's fucking raptors and stuff. And it's 2 hours and 13 minutes long. I'm an hour into this movie and I'm like, this thing sucks. It's not good. I hope it's over soon. And I looked, it wasn't even halfway done with the movie. It was so disappointing. So I'm not even going to get into it. That is not it. Don't watch this movie, Primitive War. Not even fun schlock. Not even like good in a group. It's I couldn't do better. Let's put it that way. But it's just not entertaining and fun at all. It's like it's a weird thing because that Adam Driver movie 65, great premise, had all the makings of this like really fun, exciting action sci-fi movie, just like this. And it could be fun, but I don't know if they just took it too seriously or they squandered like but they definitely squandered the premise. And both of those movies were just fantastically disappointing. fantastically disappointing. So, yeah, stay away of Primitive War. Not great. Okay, let's see what else we got here. Ooh, Don't Trip. Yes, I got a screener for this one, and I sent to me by the writer-director Alex Kugelman. And this is a passion project. It is a indie film, very indie film. It was crowdfunded, I think, through, I don't know, it was Indiegogo or Kickstarter or something. I think it was Kickstarter. But fully indie funded, no studio influence whatsoever. And Alex Kugelman's only done shorts up to this point. So very much in line with what we were talking about at the beginning of this movie. It's like or the beginning of this episode. Don't Trip is like a 4-star movie. And it feels like it's written out of a personal place, but I would hate to think that Kugelman went through this. Matthew Sato is an actor. He was in Imaginary. He was in Deadly Cheer Mom and some other stuff. He's a young guy, young actor. Says on his letterbox he's also a singer, and he plays this character of Dev, and he's a personal assistant to an agent, and he's in charge of setting up all her appointments and booking what scripts she reads and stuff, and just kind of like a grunt, but very connected. And there's a high power agent, and he gets fired by her for some reason at the very beginning of the movie. And he says his girlfriend is played by Olivia Royer. I don't know. She's from Slaughterhouse, another newer actress. And she basically is giving him shit, and she's like, what are you going to, you should make your own movie. Don't you have that script you made and you're passionate about it, but you haven't even tried to make it. You should make it. And what he decides to do is he goes to the contacts of his agent that he just got fired from and finds the studio executive and tries to get in touch with him. He's like, if you can get the studio executive to greenlight your film and option it so you can make it, someone else can make it for you, you're in forever. You could be considered the next up and coming screenwriter. And he's like, he produced The Godfather and he produced this and that. So you're led to believe it's either Francis Ford Coppola or somebody of that ilk, like a big power player. And he can't get a hold of him anywhere. He gets shut out everywhere. But he finds out that guy has a son who's a kind of a crazy party animal. And that character's name is Trip. The movie's called Don't Trip. And Trip Lefkowitz is his character's name. He's played by an actor named Will Sennett, Sennett, who is so fucking good in this. He's so like insane. The character is the coked out, maybe recovered from cocaine and methamphetamines, rich asshole son of a influential Hollywood power player who has no limitations, no rules, can sweep anything under the rug. There's allegations that he'd murdered someone in the past, like an ex-girlfriend, and it was all covered up, and you're never quite sure what it is, but he's just like the worst Nepo baby you can imagine. And Dev is trying to basically become friends with him so he can then say, oh, by the way, I'm a screenwriter too. Maybe you should read my script. Maybe your dad would like to make it. And that's his idea to get a backdoor into the industry. So majority of this movie is them just getting into hijinks, and the concept is really good. The dialogue is very funny. Will Sennett is a riot the entire time. It's Kickstarter funded, but it looks like it could easily be a studio feature. And a character like that's very draining on, it's like purposefully draining on the characters in the movie, can easily be draining to the people watching it. So they do a great job. Kugelman does a very good job of making the dialogue not too overt in that regard. Like, you're enjoying it. You do hate the guy, but it's also very entertaining. And it can feel like a monotonous thing. Oh, he just says something random, it's crazy. Oh, he does something weird and people are freaked out by it. But it doesn't feel like draining or repetitive or like nails on a chalkboard. It's just really good. So but yeah, Alex Kugelman, I'm going to be looking out for his next feature. He's very good. And anything that Will Sennett's been into. So I reviewed this on Letterboxd, and Will commented on it and basically just was like, hey man, yeah, what's up? Thanks, man. Appreciate it. And he's an up-and-coming actor too. So it's like 3 young actors, Yeah, 3 young actors, and then his dad is played by. It's a very small part, but he's played by. Where is it? Fred Melamed, who's you recognize him if you don't know him, the name, you'd recognize him. Great voice, and he plays the studio exec, and so he's in it for a hot second. But it's basically just like 3 young actors and an up and coming writer director, and they made this fucking great movie. So more of that, please. So that is streaming on Tubi. I think it's live now. If it's not live now, it should be live in the next couple days. But at the time I watched it, it wasn't available, and he basically said just have everybody watch it on Tubi as soon as it goes live. So check that out on Tubi. The guy gets probably 50 cents every time you watch it. So watch it a few times. Okay, I think that's it. I watched a bunch more. I rewatched The Monkey. I watched Scarface, obviously, for the show that I'm going to do in a second. Watched the entire Alien franchise. I rewatched Ernest Scared Stupid, which is an all-time classic. I watched 2017 It from Andy Muschietti, which is I think is a modern horror staple. I watched Ender's Game from 2013. I bought the Steelbook as a joke. Long story. It didn't work. The joke didn't work, but I had this movie. It's been sitting on a shelf for like a year. I finally watched it, and it's like the whole movie sucks until the end, and then what's revealed to have happened re-changes the entire movie. It doesn't turn it into a great movie, but it makes me sad that they didn't make any more because it was a great reveal. A great reveal. So Ender's Game is not great, but maybe it's worth it. Rewatched Weapons again. It's great. And then I watched this really small movie called Scared Shitless as a recommendation from Jason Kleberg from Force 5, Steve Ogg, Daniel Doheny, Mark McKinney, Julian Richings, and a couple other people make up this movie, and it is it's like a modern B movie. It's great. A plumber and his germophobic son are forced to get their hands dirty to save the residents of an apartment building when a genetically engineered, bloodthirsty creature escapes into the plumbing system. Feels very Attack the Block, but with more schlock and more. And the creature effects were done by Steven Kostansky from Psycho Gorman and Manborg and Astron 6 or whatever, Astron 9. I can't remember the name of their production company. So anyways, that is it for today. Usually I ask Tyler and Joseph, you guys have anything? No? Okay, great. So thank you to our cool ass yard duties over on Patreon. That's Javier, Heather, Michael, and Chris. And if you want to support us in the Patreon, you can do so at Middle Class Film Class, patreon.com/middleclassfilmclass, or you can just watch the YouTube and share with a friend. We are right on the cusp of being able to actually make a tiny bit of money on YouTube. Once you reach $100, you can cash it out. We haven't got there yet. We're so close. So share with some friends. Share this episode or past episodes because this is a weird episode. Just keep watching, and we really appreciate you. And thank you so much for the understanding for allowing us the time off for the month. I didn't get one nasty message or anything. Hey, when are you guys coming back? It was all positive. Can't wait for you to come back, that sort of thing. And next week we should have all 3 of us here, so it'll be a blast. So until next time. Thank you for joining us again as we gab and chatter, or I gab and chatter. Talk about movies that I watched from October. We talk about no movie news, but I guess personal news. It's a lot of fun stuff in Santa Cruz, all the premieres. Motherwound stuff was a lot of fun. So follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/MCFC podcast, and send us an email, mcfcpodcast@gmail.com. All the other socials that the guys normally cover, you can just go to mcfcpodcast.com. It has pretty much everything there. You can find out where to contact us there. Well, okay, we'll see you soon. Yeah, not good. Don't watch it.
Class dismissed.
I gotta get out of here.
The bell doesn't dismiss you. I dismiss you.
You're free to go.
See you next week.
See you later.
See you later.
That's a wrap.
Great show.